Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of How to Airbnb. My name's Andrew and I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about Airbnb. Let's go. I hope you guys liked episode 2. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to click the annotation up here. So in part 3 of how to manage your Airbnb, I'm going to talk about quality check, checkout guide, checkout inspection, cleaning yourself versus hiring cleaners, my review formula, leaving private feedback, and writing public responses. Usually, the next day, after the guests have spent their first night in your home, what I like doing is doing a quality check. Just like a server in a restaurant, going over to ask you after your first couple bites, hey, how's the meal? But instead, what you're asking is, hey, I hope you guys had a good first night. Just let me know if you need anything. And when you do that, it gives your guests a chance to answer you and tell you if anything is out of the ordinary, if there was missing something or if they needed something. And another really good thing about asking this question is it reinforces the idea that they had a good night. If you ask them, hey, did you guys have a good night? And they say, yeah, it was fantastic. You just reinforce that with a simple quality check on the next day. So I highly recommend that you do this the next day after 11 a.m. You don't want to wake them up and you don't want to do this too late, between 11 and 12, maybe 1 o'clock, and just ask them, hey, I hope you guys had a good first night. Is there anything, just let me know if there's anything you guys need. When it comes to checkout, it's really good to leave your guests a checkout guide, a little checklist that they can do before they go so that everything is good for them and for you, and also makes your life a little bit easier when you go back in there to take care of the place, or if you have a cleaner, it just makes it a little bit easier. So your checkout list is something that I recommend you put in your welcome guide. Now that your guests have left your home, when you go back in, or if your cleaner goes in before you, what I recommend before you start washing the sheets or mopping or sweeping or throwing the garbage out is take a minute, do an in-house inspection. Go room by room just to verify that everything's good. And if there is anything that does pop out, at least you can deal with it right away. When it comes to cleaning your home after your guests, there's 2 ways. One, you can do it yourself. You're going to save money, you're going to spend some time in your home cleaning. That's about it. 2, you can hire a cleaner. The nice thing about a cleaner is, yeah, you're gonna have to up your nightly rate a little bit, but the nice thing is you're not gonna spend any energy on cleaning your home. And the cool thing too is that the cleaning fees for Airbnbs are usually high, so you're gonna be able to hire a cleaner to take care of this. Now that your home is clean, it's time to review your guest. The way that I review my guests is I use a 5-point system. So when I start, I ask myself, how did the guest do? And that's what I review. Is it a good guest, a bad guest, an okay guest? That's usually how I start my review. The second part is I write how much in advance did the guest book with me. The third is how the communication was online. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it okay? This is important. Fourth is I write how check-in went. Did it go well? Did it go wrong? Did they need to call me? Then I write how the guest was when they were in my home, if they needed help, or if they needed to message me for anything, or if they were self-sufficient. The next thing that I write about is checkout. Was it on time? Were they there late? Did they leave early? And the last thing that I write about is cleanliness. How clean did they leave my place? And the really last thing that I write at the end is, do I recommend these guests and would I host them again? something that's important about reviews is you have to understand the review is technically not for the guest. The review is for the next host that's going to host this guest. So if you had a fantastic guest with flying colors, give it to them. You want the next host to be able to host these people without any issues. But let's say you had a guest that wasn't the best and you didn't really enjoy the experience with them. You have to write that stuff too, because you want to let other hosts know that this person wasn't the best. In the review process, there's a section that's called private feedback, and I usually use up that space as well. So the private feedback is where I put in information for the guests, and a lot of the time this is where I thank them and I tell them that they're welcome back in my home anytime. And the second thing that I use this place for is for giving them feedback. Let's say they were a really good guest, but they did something that I didn't really like. This is the area where it's not public, where I can tell them, hey, next time you're in somebody else's home and this happens, maybe do this before you do this. Private feedback section is a really good place to inform your guests on what they did wrong, and also to tell your guests that you really enjoyed hosting them and that you want them to come back again. Once your guest reviews you, or after 14 days, the reviews are going to go public. And there's another tool here that I find that a lot of hosts don't use, and that's the public response. That's where underneath the review that they wrote you on your listing will say, you can write a response thanking them again. And this is also a really good place to do additional marketing. How do you do that? Let's say you had a guest that flew in from a different city for a specific conference. Well, I recommend you mention that in the review response so that other guests are going to read that, and if they're attending a conference like this, they're going to see it and it gives them more reason to stay with you. An example would be, oh, it was fantastic hosting Mark. I'm happy you chose my home for his conference at the conference center on the 26th. It was great having him, and I really wish him the best and hope that he comes back again. Did you see what I just did there? There's a subliminal message in there saying that if you're going to attend a conference at the conference center, come stay with me because it's close or it's a good place. So that's it for episode 3. That was a big overview of how to manage your Airbnb. Make sure to watch the entire series if this is the only episode that you've watched. I am going to dive deeper into future episodes. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. It means a lot to me. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, please consider leaving me a like. It's going to help my channel a lot, and it's also going to tell me if you guys enjoyed that series. Also, before you go, if you have any topics or any questions or anything you'd like me to talk about or cover, make sure to leave me that in the comments below. If you're enjoying what I'm putting out, subscribe to the channel, guys. As always, keep hosting.